Now, Christmas may have come and gone, but Moray Council are giving away free shops for a month. Businesses are being given access to shop fronts for a 4-week period at no cost in a bid to tempt a bit of life back into the high street.
These pop-up shops were successfully trialled in Keith, and they're part of the region's economic recovery plan to help businesses get back on their feet. We sent our reporter Isla Todd along to find out more.
It's a new year and time for a new leaf. And businesses are getting a fresh start too. They'll be able to use empty shops for free for up to 4 weeks right across Moray.
If you don't have a go, you won't ever know.
People took it on, it was quite nice.
And it's all about helping high streets like this one. Here in Elgin, I've spotted about 9 empty storefronts. But this pop-up scheme by Moray Council will help them inject a bit of life back into their high street, but also give businesses a chance to test the water after a difficult couple of years. It follows a similar scheme in Keith, which transformed the town from having the highest number of empty shops in Moray to the lowest.
I was quick to take the chance. I'd never had a shop before and been used to doing vintage fairs up and down the country, so it was good to be in the one place for several weeks at a time. So we had a go, and that was really where I got the bug for business.
But it also gives businesses the chance to test the water. For Bike Revolution, it got their name out there, but didn't suit their needs.
We didn't sell a lot being in the shop because I suppose of what we sell is bikes, and people have a little bit of a thing before they buy a bike. However, after it, a lot of people came to this shop and bought bikes from that Keith area. So yeah, it definitely promoted us. It definitely gave us a bigger profile.
And it gave Evelyn the confidence to set up permanently.
I learned also that people are happy to support local businesses, provided they're friendly and welcoming and not too off the wall. Pop-up used to be a strange thing, but now it's every day. People know what popping up is now.
While it depends on what premises are available, and businesses do have to pay utility bills, the pop-up shop project is running until January 2023 and could be the boost some businesses and the high streets need after a tough few years. Isla Todd, BBC News.
Well, that's one way to try and rejuvenate the high street, but it's been a difficult year, and now we're hearing that Boxing Day sales didn't have the impact the sector had hoped for. So where does that leave the future of retail?
Well, Catherine Shuttleworth's an expert in the field, and she joins us now. Catherine, thanks so much for being with us. So we're hearing there about pop-up shops enjoying a bit of success on the high street, but generally, how did high streets fare over the Christmas period?
Well, I think Christmas was a bit of a washout for a lot of retailers. So with the rising COVID rates and obviously the change of direction in terms of people working away from home again and the changing rules from the government, lots of people decided to play it safe and went very much for online shopping towards the end of Christmas. And since Christmas has happened, the Boxing Day sales, we talked about 1,000 shoppers a month, and over 40% of them said that they think the Black Friday sales are bigger and better, and that they probably wouldn't be bothering with the Boxing Day sales. So I think a combination of sale fatigue, rising COVID rates and wanting to just stay safe and be at home, and pretty grim weather has kept people away from the high streets. But it is great to see these new sort of innovative schemes because what we are looking for is exciting, innovative products, and that's what local suppliers can give us.
It's interesting because I can't tell you how many stories I must have done about rejuvenating high streets and saving high streets, and it does make you wonder, are we actually needing to fundamentally rethink the high street? I mean, last year Gap shut down, a lot of stores in the UK, all its stores in the UK. In fact, John Lewis shut down a couple of stores too. Some cities have moved to sort of more a cafe culture on their high streets and boutique shops and pop-ups. Do you think that's where we're going?
I mean, yeah, there's no question that we've got to rethink how we use our high streets and what we want to love them for. I mean, particularly if we're not going to work in city centres as much anymore. And it does look as though we're moving to a hybrid working model across the United Kingdom. So I think what we've got to do is work out how we want to work, live and play on our high streets. And that play needs to involve shops, and they need to be different, because more and more we'll buy the things that are easy to buy, that are boring to buy online, but we're going to look for interesting and innovative products in shops where we can meet people and talk to them about what they buy. So like Elspeth there, we're really, really interested in local businesses who want to sell their wares, who want to talk to us, but we just don't want to see the same cut-out shops on every high street, the length and breadth of the land. We want something different that's great and local to us.
Yeah, people go for experience now, don't they, rather than something they can buy online more conveniently. It has been another tough year, though, for retailers. How do you think 2022 is looking for them?
I think he's going to be cautious. So a lot of retailers who've got very good online businesses have actually done quite well. But I mean, you talked about John Lewis there. They've closed their store in Aberdeen, but their store in Edinburgh is beating all of its budgets. It's absolutely fantastic. It's full of people and it looks great. So I think there's cautious optimism that people will be making decisions very slowly if they own shops. They won't be rushing into doing things because they need to see how consumers feel. And we know that next year is going to be a big tight squeeze on household budgets. You know, we're looking at about the average family having another bill rise of about £1,500 because of inflation and of course the increased prices in fuel. And that means that we will be cutting our cloth accordingly and stopping spending as much money in shops. So any retailer worth the salt is going to take things very slowly and very cautiously.
Yeah, we are spending on some things, though. We see that vinyl sales have gone up again. What does this tell us about our spending habits? Are we becoming more discerning?
Yeah, we are becoming a bit more discerning. So we want affordable luxury. We want things that make us happy. And I think vinyl's one of those things that makes people happy. So yeah, we are looking to buy better, but buy less. So I think those days of buying lots of things for very little money are gone. But having said that, each end of the market works, doesn't it? So we get the high-end luxury, but Primark, for example, at the bottom end, continues to grow and grow. I think if retailers are selling the right products at the right prices, they'll always have customers. But, you know, I think what we will see next year is a growth locally in local stores, smaller high streets, and the continued growth and dominance of online players.
Brilliant. Catherine Shuttleworth, thank you very much for joining us on The Nine.
It's interesting, isn't it? We heard so often about the death of the high street being a really bad thing, but actually it's a moment, and if it's used in the right way and we just kind of find a new use for it, there's no reason why it can't be a positive.
I think that could be quite exciting, you know, if people live above, you know, cafes, or if you think about like Barcelona or Paris, you know, cafes in the middle of the, you know, the high streets.
Leisure areas for your free time rather than
rather than going to the shops. Yeah,
exactly. It's just a change. It's development rather than a bad thing, isn't it? Listen, what do you think? Please get in touch with us if you've got a story to share or something to say about any of the stories that we cover. Our email address is right there at the bottom of the screen.
And so is our Twitter handle and Instagram.
You can get in touch with us through any of those media.